Well, that was something. The Washington Commanders just lost 28-20 to the Los Angeles Rams, and we have a lot to talk about, including Ron Rivera taking out Sam Howell, putting in Brissett, who looked really good, and Terry, who looked really good with Jacoby Brissett as his quarterback. And let's talk about Cameron Cheeseman. We have a lot to talk about. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well for a struggling Commanders fan. Alrighty, so another loss. 4-10 is the record for the Washington Commanders. And the game ended up being a little bit close at the end, 28-20. Commanders were getting absolutely dominated. And at the end there, they made a switch, and Rivera said that they kind of wanted to just protect Sam Howell. That's kind of what he said. Honestly, guys, I'm a little checked out. I was having dinner with some people, shout out Woody, and we were having a good time. And I really wasn't paying attention to all the press stuff, but I did see that Ron Rivera said that Sam Howell will remain QB1. But Sam Howell, 11 for 26 on the day, 102 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jacoby Brissett played in 2 possessions. Sam Howell played in 10. Jacoby Brissett has had 22 more passing yards than him, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 157.9 passer rating. I think that's perfect. Maybe 158 is perfect, but that's really, really good. And obviously, he's going to be playing a little bit, a little more loose coverage and stuff like that. The defense a little bit easier, but still, he was giving Terry McLaurin opportunities. And look at that. Terry, 6 catches, 141 yards, and a touchdown. His career high. And guess what? Almost all that came when Jacoby Brissett was coming in. You know why? Or once, after Jacoby Brissett was started to play, Terry McLaurin actually got not only deep ball attempts, but contested ball passes like the touchdown. It wasn't the amazing throw, but it was a good throw, and Terry had the chance to go over the defender and make the catch. He also, actually got a good deep ball thrown to him. And I don't want to hate on Sam Howell, but I was really, really frustrated over this whole season. The hate, from this fan base on Terry, there was a lot of it. Maybe most of you guys weren't the ones doing it, but there were a lot of fans saying, oh, Terry's a number 2 at best. Oh, Terry is he's trash, whatever. And the fact of the matter was, and I was saying this the whole time, you can go back and look. I never thought Terry was a top 5, but I thought he was a top 10, top 12 receiver. And this year, he was never, ever an elite separator. But what he did really well was, okay, there's no one down there. Let's just throw it up to Terry and see what he can do. And Taylor Heinicke did that best. And he had the F it Terry's down there somewhere shirts. And that was, really true. And, Wentz didn't really throw to Terry that much last year in the beginning of the year. Guess what? People were calling him washed. And then, Heinicke came in and Heinicke balled out. Or not balled out, but he was throwing the ball to Sam a lot. And Heinicke was throwing the ball to Terry a lot and just, contested catches. And Sam's deep ball was supposed to be good. And it was in college, and, in the Cowboys game, it was good. But, hey, in this game, it was really not good at all. This season. Sorry, I'm a little, got a bunch of things going on. But this season, it wasn't good at all. So many overthrows, some underthrows. And it just wasn't, hasn't been a great season for Howell in terms of the long passes. It hasn't at all. And that's been one of the things that he struggled with the most. And Terry thrived on those deep contested catch balls. And this year he's been averaging his career low in, yards per catch. And this game was his, one of his highest ever, 23.5, because he was actually getting the ball deep. So it is what it is. But I really hope Sam can learn from this. Look what happens when you throw it to him deep and you actually hit him. The thing with Terry, he's not 9 out of the 10 times you throw it up to him 50-50 ball, he's not going to let the DB intercept it. Don't be scared about that. But let's move on to a little bit of, some other things. Jacoby was great, 8 for 10. Sam, again, wasn't great. Missed some throws. Had a couple, 1 or 2 interceptions dropped. He had 1 interception, It wasn't great. I'm trying to think of. Actually, I forgot about the interception or which one it was. He had a couple screen passes that weren't great. It just wasn't a great game from Howell. Obviously, things weren't the best up front, but I mean, they only gave up 1 sack. He also had some, solid rushes, 3 rushes for 22 yards. The run game wasn't great today. 10 carries, 35 yards for Chris Rodriguez, and then Gibson 4 for 15. Curtis Samuel had 2 touchdowns on the day. Wow. He's had a good year for us. We'll try to bring him back. Gibson, 5 catches for 20 yards, and then Jahan Dotson had 1 catch for 12 yards. So there you go, your first-round pick, man, from last year. You're really not doing much with him. Pringle had a catch. Offensively, wasn't a great day. The defense had a good day. They only allowed, obviously they still had their struggles, but 28 points, that's not bad, especially considering the special teams mistake that they had that, directly led to 8 or 7 points. So yeah, obviously the defense wasn't great, but they're not the reason we lost this game. The Rams have a good offense. They've got a decent quarterback in Matt Stafford, got a really good running back in Kyron Williams. They've got 2 really good receivers in Cooper Kupp and Puka, a solid tight end. So, holding him to 28 by itself isn't terrible. And then you consider the special teams mistake that was just awful. Also had a turnover on offense. They also forced 2 turnovers. So the defense was not bad today at all. And the run defense was pretty bad. Kyron Williams was absolutely, was killing us. Average, it felt like more than 6 yards a carry. I guess at the end there, just run it out. But yeah, defense wasn't the reason we lost. But let's get into this special teams here. Cameron Cheeseman, and I will preface this with, okay, he's a great guy and everything like that, and I hope everything works out with him after football or whatever he's going to do after this, because I don't think it's going to be football, but he's a really nice guy, always took time with the fans, and he's a nice guy, so I don't want to put him down or anything. This is more on, I don't think Cameron Cheeseman or anyone he's related to is watching this, but if they are, this rant is going to be more on Rivera than Cheeseman. But you traded up for a long snapper. You traded a future 6th-round pick, and you gave him a 7th to get Cameron Cheeseman, or it was a future 5th-round pick for Cameron Cheeseman. And first year he was okay. What is this? His 3rd year, 2nd year, okay. And this, he still had his blunders. This year's been absolutely terrible. And in the offseason, it's been bad. We started to hear, rumblings of it hasn't been great. And then the preseason starts and a couple missed kicks. And then the regular season starts and it's the same thing. Bad snap after bad snap. And we haven't been talking about it because we've been losing and it doesn't really matter at this point. But it's still these last few weeks, it's been bad. Every punt, it seems like, Tressway, most of the time he has to jump up a little bit, but sometimes he has to reach down. And then the kicks, so many, if you look at Joey Sly's numbers, he's the one who's most negatively impacted from all this is him, because his field goal percentage and extra point percentage is going way down because of Cameron Cheeseman. So many bad snaps and so many that if it wasn't Tressway clutching up and making a good hold, they would have missed even more. So Cameron Cheeseman, absolutely terrible. I've never seen a worse long snapper than him. And I don't know why he, was he perfect before this year? No, but we weren't talking about it. And he decides to change up his form. I don't know why you do that. This quote was crazy. He said, on if he's worried the Commanders will make a change at long snapper. I've been worried all year. I haven't been performing the way I've been wanting to. Most places I probably wouldn't be around still. And hey, I respect the heck out of Cameron Cheeseman for admitting that. And he shouldn't be on this team, but that's not his fault. I can't be criticizing him in terms of this guy's still on the team. He shouldn't be on the team. That's not up to him. Obviously, if he played better, he would be on the team. But Ron Rivera should have been cut him a long time ago. Probably, one of the first weeks of the season after we saw it wasn't going to get better, I would have cut him. But it was a lot. There was a lot of struggling with Cheeseman in the middle of the season, and it continued, and it did impact kicks. And Rivera was let's just keep it going. And this was even before they got eliminated from the playoffs, and officially. Today they officially got eliminated, but it just really frustrating. There's just another thing with Rivera, another just absolute colossal failure for Ron Rivera that was kind of expected going into the season after the offseason of struggling with Cameron Cheeseman. And a quote like this is crazy. I've been wanting to, he said, I haven't been performing the way I've been wanting to. Most places I wouldn't be around still. That's crazy. That's crazy to say. He's basically saying any other coach would have already released me. And Cameron Cheeseman is still on a team. And then Rivera has the audacity to say, we're going to evaluate the long snapper position. There's nothing to evaluate. Cameron Cheeseman is terrible. Whatever. And obviously, I'm not a long snapper, never a long snapper. I don't know why he can't go back to what he did before. I guess he's, put it in his brain so much that he can't really go back to it. But I don't know, man. And he got Tressway hurt with a terrible snap that just he snapped it directly into the ground, got Tressway hurt. I think that was a little dirty. Honestly, I think that was a little dirty by the Rams. Could have just touched him and he would have been down, but they kind of hit him. I thought he was defenseless. It is what it is. It's not a big deal. Tressway came in there, was fine, but I just thought that was bad. Defensively, honestly, not a lot to talk about. Khalil Cousins had some nice plays. Kendall Fuller was solid. Quan Martin was up and down. Percy Butler had a forced fumble. I thought KJ Henry was good. Cameron Curl got beat. I don't know what happened there. Deron Payne had the best game of the season. 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits. Jonathan Allen, nowhere really to be seen. I guess he had a tackle for loss. Defense wasn't the issue. Offense was the main issue. They got some points there at the end. I'm going to be interested to see what they do here. They said they're going to keep Howell, but Rivera really, I think, probably regrets what he did because now people are going to be like, oh, look how much better Brissett did, and there's actually going to be a controversy the next couple of weeks. But I really think that at this point, it's going to be very hard for Howell to be QB1 next year. I think the new GM is going to probably anyway was going to want to draft his own guy, but especially after the recent struggles of Sam Howell, I think they're going to want to take a quarterback, especially if we're in the top 5. We lose another game, which helps us in terms of getting a closer pick. And the Bears, I believe they won the game. Or no, I guess they lost the game, which isn't... it helps our second round pick, I guess. So overall, not a bad day. The Patriots lost as well. So we need the Cardinals to beat the Bears. If that happens when they play, we will end up moving up a spot. And if the Patriots beat the Jets, same thing could happen. But I think that's it for today's video. Honestly, there's nothing I need to say that I haven't said already. Ron Rivera is an absolute clown. This roster is a mess, and it's a mess because of Ron Rivera. The personnel decisions. Let's look at the draft picks. Jamin Davis, Jahan Dotson, Emmanuel Forbes. None of those guys are good. Maybe Jamin Davis is he's a good, solid linebacker, good linebacker, but that's not what you want in a first round linebacker. You want an elite linebacker or a Pro Bowl linebacker. He hasn't been close to that. And then just a bunch of just bad decisions by Ron Rivera. And yeah, man, there's nothing else to say. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys new, and peace.